volatile.
Well, speaking of Bush, welcome to Going Commando, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed your host, Hank Rodriguez. To the right of me is Dirty Derek, formerly known as Love Dr. Derek.
Yep, I don't shave people.
And speaking of not shaving, we got Jimothy.
You don't know I don't shave.
That's right. I like to give the presence of being hairy, smooth like a turtle.
That's right. We're like platypuses. Are we mammals? Or are we
That's right. I don't know. I like to keep you guessing.
Oh, man.
And take the pants off, and you're like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
You know what? I'm going to bring that up depending on who the guest is on my the relationship show. Like, shaving or not shaving them, guys.
Yep.
Anyway.
I actually here's my personal feeling on the matter. It's your body. You do whatever you want. No judgment. But personally, body hair of any kind, whether on me or other people, I find it a little gross. But it's a weird mental thing since I was a kid. I don't know.
Me, I have no fucking preference.
So you're
honestly like
you're rocking like the baby look, or what?
No, I mean no, because at this point, nobody cares.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I think weirdly, even though if you see my a lot of facial hair or whatever, but I have almost no armpit hair naturally, very little amount of body.
Yeah, I'm a very Yes,
sir, lucky son.
So you're got the native bloods.
I'm like
this is taking like 6 months. This beard right here,
God damn it! I'm like 1/4 Wookiee, the other quarter Sasquatch.
Always have your meat sausage hanging out of it.
Yeah, I got my friggin' got my beef jerky.
No, you know who has us beat? Adam Danger. Jesus Christ! That guy is always hanging out.
Wow, I wouldn't have never suspected.
No, seriously. If you ever see him dressed down and he has a kind of a button-down shirt, it's just there it's Italian sausage right there.
All right.
But he only has a hairy collarbone.
Everything else is his balls.
It's hair transplants. It's like Rogaine for your chest.
Man.
That's about it. Yeah, I just but that's okay. I feel like to your point, James, I think the older you get, the less fucks you give.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So look if I go looking like Chewbacca's younger brother, that's okay.
That's cool.
It doesn't matter. I think honestly I have a beard. I honestly think you would expect it anyways.
The carpets match the drapes.
Yeah, I mean.
You know?
Yeah, I mean plus the whole interior of the house, and the back porch.
I mean that's the thing is I lived at a time when it was very uncool. Men, there's that whole metrosexual things where men had to shave and beards were very uncool.
Yep, back sack and crack.
Yeah, that was. I just don't get it. You want my
seems like a lot of work.
You want my ding dong to look a baby that? It's just
you got problems.
And then I'm a bigger guy. That's just gonna look really. I'm gonna look like a big baby.
Yeah,
this is taking a very interesting turn. I'm almost
just a different type of action on this podcast.
Well, both of them, even the Texas podcast.
Hey, you know who was hairy like a beso? The Italian Stallion. Cobra. The guys of the '80s, those action-packed guys. They were. Some of them were smooth, but
let me ask you this: you were obsessed with Sly. Mm-hmm. Did you buy his Playgirl?
No.
My sister had his Playgirl.
No, didn't go that far. I didn't buy Shawn Michaels either. I would have bought Burt Reynolds though, because that one's pretty majestic.
I saw the Burt Reynolds one too.
The only one I would have bought was probably the Peter Steele one.
I've seen it. I didn't buy it, but I've seen it.
The what?
Peter Steele from
Typo Negative.
Oh,
6'8"? Is that how tall he was?
Yeah,
Jesus, what a beast.
That was his dick size.
Yeah, and I mean it was very.
What a beast!
It
probably makes Jared Leto look like a baby.
Oh,
wow. It was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty alright. It was a good size.
It was good.
He was
God.
I know a lot of my female podcasts.
Hey.
Typo face nigga.
By the way, the name of the podcast is a reference to not wearing underwear.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have to have some cock talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
We're going to start a new series called Cock Talk with James.
Exactly.
That's right. Well, I just bring it up on the relationship podcast. Just have James come on.
Yeah, just have a cacks.
You'll be like, you are listening to Cock Talk with James Dean.
That's right. Ladies, want to know.
So, there's some radio station
Cutter
here.
Anteater.
What?
I said cutter anteater. Let's inquiring minds want to know.
I call it the Chinese finger balloon.
Anyways, there's some radio station.
There's some radio station locally. I was leaving work and it was just talking about squirting and it was talking about And it was like I like learned all this stuff like in 5 minutes, and I was like, "What?"
Wow.
Was it the Billy Madison show on Kiss?
Sometimes, yeah, Billy Madison.
No, it was like a woman. It was like it's a woman host. It's almost very clinical, like kind of like Dr. Drew, like kind of feeling.
Dr. Phyllis.
She's like a lady, and but like, like the first time I heard it, I forget what the topic was. It was also something sexual. But it was there a guy and a girl. Oh no, that was the squirting one. What was the other one I was just thinking to? It was also like sort of like it was about like pederasty and like there's movement. Anyways,
Wait,
this
what?
crazy shit happens.
What's
what?
pederasty? What?
Pedophilia.
Oh.
About like
diddlers, kid diddlers.
sex with minors and how there's this like legal.
Oh, is this where they want to be considered in the same vein as the GLBT
Yes,
community?
exactly. Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah, fuck that.
Kid diddlers.
No.
I would be more accepting if people say they wanted to fuck sheep on the weekend. Like,
Yeah,
well,
well,
that any day of the week.
Anything that can't say yes or no is a problem. But anyways, weird. Let's not go here. Let's talk about movies.
You're the one that brought. Hey, really quick.
Yeah.
Hopper is alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The strangest of things. Like, we all didn't know that, but
I know, but it was still nice to see.
it was good
All
to
bald-headed.
confirm our suspicions that he was in the prison.
But they have him working in the prisons, which is I want to see like how that happened.
You know what's really funny, actually? Talk about like themed restaurants. On a side note, my friend Ryan went to Russia, went to St. Petersburg, Russia, like a couple years ago, and took some pictures. And they are super big on like in their malls, like themed restaurants from TV shows. And not only do they have a Stranger Things, I think one of like the Chip. Like the ice cream shop there.
Oh, yeah.
But they also have the chicken place from Breaking Bad there as well.
Oh,
Las Buenos Hermanos?
Yeah.
yeah, Los Buenos Hermanos.
So I was like, wow, okay. I'm like, so maybe they're going to make Hopper work at the scoop shop. That's punishment.
World folding in on itself.
That's right.
Ouroboros.
They were all secretly in Russia the whole time and nobody knew it.
Right.
There's New York is opening up the world's first Batman-themed restaurant. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
It's like a $15 million restaurant that's going to be themed to Batman.
It's
crazy.
What food are they going to serve?
I don't know, but they do shoot your parents on the way in, so watch out.
Well, I'm an orphan now, so they nothing to shoot. Oh wait, they shoot me.
What
No,
do
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
We can be Batman. We'll go together. I'm an
All
orphan
right.
too.
Sounds good.
I did go to the Beetlejuice theme restaurant in New York, which I thought was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Can we wait, what Beatles themed?
Beetlejuice, it's a Tim Burton theme restaurant.
Oh, but it was only a temporary, right? It was
No, it's a staple.
Oh,
It's in New York.
That's right, but it's like they didn't get legal clearance. There's something about they somehow skirted legal because they opened it and people thought it was cool, and then Burton found out and was like, I didn't okay any of this shit, and then apparently people were afraid they were going to have to close, and then I guess they found some.
Yeah, I think they
legal
found because I
loophole.
was like, I think they're opening up another one.
Yeah.
Wow.
As well. But it was pretty cool. Beetlejuice is my bartender,
Nice.
which is great.
So can I talk real quick?
Yeah.
So-
You can talk about whatever you want.
Back in the day, and I feel like it was just a case of the worst timing ever. On Universal, it's Universal City Walk, very famous. It's right out next door to Universal Studios. They had the Marvel Experience restaurant. And it was a whole fucking. This is my story. So I went there on my 20th birthday, or my 22nd birthday. I can't remember. I went there multiple times. But so one time we went and they were fucking closed because it was Super Bowl weekend and apparently there was a power outage. And so like we went to 3 different places and they were closed and it's like, yeah, sounds suspicious. But anyways, this place would walk in, it was huge. As you're walking in, they had a rotating glass display tube with Iron Man's armor in it. Now mind you, this is when did the Marvel movies begin?
2008, 2007.
Yeah, so this is like 10 years before the Marvel movies. So it was amazing. For a nerd, it was amazing. It was all decorated amazing. On this thing, you'd like Cap Shield. But my favorite thing was, in the comics, there's this thing place called the Bar with No Name, which is the bar that all the supervillains hang out at. So the bar in the restaurant was the Bar with No Name. If you went in, it was like an ode to supervillains. Under the glass case of like the bar, it had like fake Daily Bugle headlines of like, the Shocker gets away with millions, and Spidey busting Electro and stuff. And I was just so fucking stoked to be in there. So it was a birthday. I was there with like there was like 14 of us. But what happens is every table gets assigned you get a waiter, but then you get assigned a superhero. We had Storm. So what happens is, at the time, you go over like so. Here's my story. So we're sitting there, mind you, like I said, my nerd flag, I flew that shit as high as possible, but so I'm at the table and the lady goes, oh, it's your birthday, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, it's like, do you know my name? I'm like, yeah, you're Storm. She's like, do you know my real name? And I was like, yeah, Aurora Monroe. She's like, oh, okay. Do you know the only thing I'm scared of? I'm like, yes, you're claustrophobic. So it turned into that too. They called over Wolverine. They called over Captain America, and I literally was sitting there. Now other tables are listening to our table, like answer whatever sort of trivia they had on Pocket, like. But like, so I won my whole table got a whole round of free drinks.
Wow.
I got my meal comped, and we got our fucking dessert comped. And it was all because of that shit.
Wow.
And I was like,
because you're a nerd.
Pays to be a nerd, people.
And I was like, dude, I was like, I need to come back here. And then they closed it because it was just too much money.
God damn it.
It was like they have the what is it? The Magic Time Machine here. It's kind of like
I want to go to that.
I haven't been there either.
Let's go.
Can we do a podcast over there?
I heard it's like the food's like meh, but it's like.
Can't you get Ace Ventura as your waiter?
You could. But you walk in and you feel like you like do like a freaking a blast of the past of everything that was wrong with the 80s.
I know.
of 80s diners.
Like all the waiters and waitresses have Coke nails and
it just looks wet in there. I don't know, that's the best way to.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty good.
wet or
just moist.
Moist.
Yeah, it just looks moist.
Super moist in there.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, it is what it is. So it's cool.
I heard it's a place you have to go if you live here.
You go there once.
Go ahead, check it out. It's like Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about that.
You should just go check it out one time.
My favorite story is some of our bosses went to when they first got to San Antonio because they didn't know what it was. And it was like 3 women and one
Gentlemen.
One gentleman. And that gentleman himself didn't really prefer we'll call it the decor, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't his
thing?
type, his thing. But they didn't know what it was, so they went there for dinner or for lunch, and they were all like, what the fuck? Where are we?
Exactly.
Look, the first time I ever drove by it, I said this before, I thought it was a David Lynch
Me too. That's why
restaurant. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. They got a Twin Peaks themed restaurant. And somebody's like, no. It's pretty much like the Texas version of Hooters.
Yep.
And then we also have Hooters.
Well, it was actually one of the co-owners of Hooters who opened it up.
Yeah.
They had a falling out. But,
He's like, fuck you. I'm going to open my own titty place.
There we go.
Well, I thought the thing is, though, too, because, like, I thought from their costumes, from their outfits, I thought it was more of a booty place because those shorts are like.
Well, I thought it was shorts. Like they have the tilted kilt or something like that, too. Is like the other kind of restaurant in like some areas.
That's your lower tier?
Yeah, that's your lower tier restaurant.
Tank knows all the tiers.
That's right. That's right. Hey, want a top tier restaurant? Yeah, you gotta go here. Lower tier, you go there.
No, I'm actually not a fan of those places. It's just because then you're expected to tip more.
I don't care what you say. I think Hooters has good wings.
I had Hooters the other day. It was amazing.
I couldn't go to Hooters. It would depress me.
Why?
I can't do it. Those poor girls, and then also the stupid dudes.
Well, I wouldn't be
working the door at a strip club really does like.
I hate strip clubs too.
Yeah, change my.
Yeah.
Just depressing.
I just know that I like the
wings.
I like the wings.
Yeah.
And that's all I care about. Like, I don't care. You don't have to come back over here
Sure,
again.
Derek.
You don't have to come back over here again. Just keep the wings coming.
There was this scene from The Office when Michael takes Jim to Hooters.
Yeah.
He goes, "Can I get the chicken breast? Hold the chicken." And she's like, "Do you really want the chicken breast?" No, I'll take the salad.
Oh, Michael Scott.
Hey, speaking of villains and all that stuff, Joker won Best Picture.
Yeah,
saw that.
Anyone surprised?
Didn't win Best Picture.
Oh, Best Actor. Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor.
Good for him.
Whatever. It was a good performance.
That was good.
I fucking hate award shows anyways.
Yeah.
I do too.
Unless we're talking about the Razzies.
The Razzies, well, there was this independent one that they did.
Independent Spirit Award.
Yeah.
Gave Adam Sandler.
That Adam Sandler speech was amazing.
I still haven't seen it. I was saving that speech for like when I was like, I just need a quick distressor or whatever. But
it is amazing. He does his Adam Sandler voice.
Yeah, it's great. Sabado. That's right.
I actually was trying to watch because I downloaded it from a Popcorn Flicks, and it wouldn't play for me on the plane. So.
Oh, you're talking about Uncut Gem?
Yeah.
Dude, you gotta watch it. God, you gotta watch that movie.
Yeah, it'll probably be out on digital sometime soon.
I'll buy it for you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I will.
Yeah. We'll just rent it. We'll share it.
Yeah, I'll rent it for you.
It was good though. It was good.
Let's talk about films.
Yeah, let's talk about movies.
Oh, this is a movie podcast?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Sometimes.
Thought it was a podcast about people that didn't wear underwear. Damn. Now I feel like I should wear underwear.
I wonder how many people would see this on Spotify or iTunes and be like, "Oh, going Commando, oh, lascivious."
And then the first 5 minutes are us talking about cock, and they're like, "This is all I've ever dreamed of."
Exactly.
And then we talk about movies, like, "Oh, sad."
False advertising.
Yeah.
Did y'all watch anything other besides horror movies this weekend?
I did. What'd you watch? Did you watch it?
I did. I watched. I watched every single Police Academy movie.
Damn, they're on Netflix.
They're on Netflix. Yeah,
That's great.
I didn't finish Mission Moscow, but really, who can blame me?
No, I like Mission.
I know, but I just didn't finish it.
You know what my favorite one is Citizens on
Patrol.
Citizens on
Patrol
Patrol
is the best one.
Citizens on Patrol.
First off,
Citizens on Patrol.
you got David Spade.
Yep.
Young David Spade.
Oh yeah, was he the one of the skateboard kids?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He was the one that Tony Hawk doubled.
Oh yeah.
You had introduction of House, which is another became a long-staying Police Academy member.
Yeah, that's right.
But also really introduces Zed as a cop.
Zed's my favorite Police Academy
course.
character, and his partner Sweet Chuck.
Sweet Chucks.
Great.
I love it. They're dynamic.
They're best buddies.
In fact, do you remember the Police Academy cartoon?
Yeah.
Great stuff. I want to get those action figures.
Yeah. I did have a couple of those extra figures too.
They're wacky, but yeah.
That's right. Michael Winslow, awesome.
Get the worst kung fu. That's the one thing is like rewatching all of them is like because first you had he was doing the kung fu, and then of course you have a Japanese actor in it, so of course he has to know martial arts. He's the worst martial artist. He actually makes Michael Winslow look actually like a real martial artist. And then you have I'm just blanking on her name, the bad bit, the one that the big boobs and the severe haircut and the tough chick. Anyways,
Kirkland.
Is it Kirkland?
Well, I mean that's her name in the
Is it?
in the movie.
I think it is. Anyways, but yeah, so they're all kicking ass together.
Which Police Academy?
Any
was
of
it?
them.
All of them. She's in all of them. She's
Yeah.
literally her and Tackleberry are the only ones.
Yeah, I felt really bad that Tackleberry died. He had died of a heart attack. I found that out like not that long ago, and I was like, I felt sad.
And I love Bubba Smith, so
Kim Control.
Hightower was always my favorite.
Yeah, I love in the first one the guy who was the kind of the Italian stallion guy, pulled up with all the ladies. Yay! Leslie Eastbrook. Yeah, Callahan.
Callahan, thank you. That was it. Yeah,
That's right.
She's always, she's always good for a good bit. But I love how the TV edit of the original Police Academy is, Hightower. They're doing the police car part of the training, so they're doing like the high speed chases and the little obstacle course, and Hooks, who is the very cute African American lady who has a small voice.
Say, my name is Hooks.
I'm Hooks.
That's right. Why can't I hear you, Hooks? That's like, freeze, dirtbag!
Exactly, dirtbag. I was gonna say that too, but I was like, in that, she runs over the like slimy dudes.
Yeah.
And in the TV edit, it was always like, you dumb nincompoop, and that's when Hightower loses it.
Yeah, and he flips the car over.
And then he basically gets kicked out of the force.
Yeah.
And as a kid, that's not the most severe thing you could say, not knowing that the actual edit was you.
Hard R.
Hard R.
Hard R.
Yeah.
Hard R.
Not appropriate for anybody that's Caucasian to say.
So then you go, oh, Hightower. Please continue.
I like that. I like too that he's a florist.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Oh, God, it's such a good.
Yeah.
I mean, the movies are, especially after the first one, because the first one still has its own.
Yeah.
It sort of has its own internal logic and kind of takes itself a little seriously. But by the second one, it just becomes it becomes like Airplane, not quite Airplane, but in that same vein. But God, they're so fun. I still love it. But yeah, Citizens on Patrol I think is the best of, especially the sequels. Yeah. Citizens on Patrol.
Citizens on Patrol. My favorite one too is when they send the guys Copeland and the other guys to the Blue Oyster Bar
And always the Blue Oyster Bar.
and the tango.
It's like in almost every single movie.
Yep.
Fucking homophobia was rampant in the 80s.
I think they like going there personally.
But now, see, even though it's a terrible movie, City Under Siege, which is part 5, the last one before they go to Moscow, has like the whole thing where, and I'm blanking on the actor's name, but he's Beef in Famine of Paradise. He's in Terror Vision.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. well, I know because you guys all know my, but I've loved him forever. Anyways, so in City Under Siege, there's basically like this like Mr. Big like faceless like crime boss guy who, spoiler alert, it's the mayor.
What's it, the mayor?
Yeah, it's the mayor. There's this like team of bad guys to like commit crimes and they can't be caught because they're so badass. But basically, you got Garrett Morris. Garrett, is it Garrett Morris? No, that's the dude from SNL. Garrett
Graham.
Garrett Graham. God,
Oh,
Garrett Graham.
yeah. He's the guy who played Bud the Chud.
Yes, Bud the Chud. Exactly. Yes, Chud too. But he plays like the leader, who's like kind of like the dude that's like the dopest shot. Like he's like a trick shoot, and then they've got the big dude, and then they've got like the gymnast, kung fu. He's more of a gymnast, but so you have a foil for Hightower, you have a foil for Tackleberry, and you have a foil for Michael Winslow, whatever. Why am I blanking his character's name? But so so it's. I remember seeing it in the drive-in as a kid. Jonesy. But at the time, I thought it was dope because they all got that. But now watching it, there's this terrible movie. But I loved it.
I didn't realize there was a Police Academy series as well, like actual
TV series.
TV series
Yep, from the early '90s. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's terrible. It's very forgettable.
Sounds terrible.
It looked terrible.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I don't recognize anybody in that.
But yeah,
show.
so I watched. I watched all kinds of stuff this last weekend when I was sick. But that was probably just watch all of the Police Academy movies.
That's great. I got to go back and watch them.
Netflix, brother.
Yeah, those are the type of movies though that you can appreciate like from the '80s and like into the '90s because they like didn't have a whole lot of sustenance to them and they were just legitimately just fun to watch.
Yeah, palatable, very like.
Yeah.
Well, to make it extra nerdy, I wrapped up Dragon Ball Super, which I probably binged in 3 months. Gotta say, enjoyable. Didn't like the way it ended, but I'm excited for season 2. That's all I'll say.
So funny amongst one of the many things I never showed you, but like I've been looking like my older brother's house. I found one bin of way too many toys, action figures. But I had a whole bunch of Dragon Ball Z figures.
Really?
And both my brothers were like, you collected Dragon Ball Z? I was like, you could only get them on no dub, zero dub, no even like English subtitles. Literally only in Japanese. Like I'd buy them bootleg VHS at conventions, and I would just watch them. I didn't know what the fuck the story was, but so I was a fan back then. But literally, I can't watch Dragon Ball Z anymore. Like I don't know, man. I can't do it.
It's hard to watch because there's. Probably what you're referring to is the filler episodes, and it just takes so damn long.
Well, it's also it's so like I don't know. I don't think it's like or like something like One Punch Man is kind of self-aware. Dragon Ball Z is such a like my dick is bigger than yours. Like it's such a male Alice in Power Fantasy to the utmost degree where it's like I'm tougher than you. No, I'm tougher than you. No, I'm tougher than you. It's like it's such a cartoon for like 13-year-old boys.
Yeah.
That like it's hard to get back into it as an adult because it's just such a like.
Okay.
But
what I will say is, besides all that, the original Dragon Ball series.
Well, that's its other thing too.
Yeah, well, it was more adventure than like, a pissing contest.
Yeah, and it's funny though because I do like, especially because Kira
Toyomo or whatever.
The guy the cartoonist who did it, I love he's really great at vehicles and backgrounds. Like he's very specifically his character's very simple, but like his background's like. And his the vehicles he draws are so intricate and so reality based. I've always been a fan of that.
Yeah.
But so I was like I remember buying all the manga when they first did when Viz brought all the original Dragon Ball manga. I bought them all. And I would buy the Dragon Ball Z manga too. But I remember thinking like everybody else was like fuck Dragon Ball's whack. Dragon Ball Z.
No,
and I remember really liking Dragon Ball and they're like no that's whack. You need to get Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball is amazing. It's still my favorite one.
Yeah. I'll at some point rewatch it. But again, to me, it seems so. Silly.
I see what you're saying, but I think it's the perseverance is the optimistic look on what you're saying, and it's like never give up, always try. When you think you're done, you're not really done. But yeah,
I watched a whole video about how like
no retreat, no surrender.
Exactly, bone thugs.
My favorite.
You watched the video? What?
No, it was a video that basically was like breaking down like the fact that like Goku's actually not like a good person. Like the reason he fights isn't for like altruistic means. He just likes to fight and he wants to prove himself. And
well, that comes out in Super to disprove that. But I digress.
All right.
I did not watch any anime. I don't really know a lot about anime. Sailor Moon.
I only started watching anime in high school, like, because my friend Eric was like, dude, you gotta watch this show. And that was, like, it was Dragon Ball Z.
Everything that I know about anime is solely watching it just so, like, I can have conversations with my son about it because he really likes anime. So I think, like, I try to, like, know a little bit about it. But what I did watch this weekend was all the Beverly Hills Cop movies.
Really?
I just did that recently.
Y'all watch, like, series movies today.
Yeah. I was like, I started.
There's only to his credit, there's only 3 of them.
There's only 3. I watched the first one. You know, what the prompt is, I was having a conversation with somebody here, and they were talking about Beverly Hills Cops, and I was like, hey, you know, we talk about they're making a 4th one, and it's going to be directly at Netflix, like it's Netflix original. And then I was like, wow, they're really bringing back like a lot of these movies, like way after, like they're done. Don't get me wrong, I love the idea of like bringing it back. I was actually really disappointed that the Beverly Hills Cop show that they were creating like got panned because it had Eddie Murphy in the first episode. Yeah. And it was like going to be Axel Foley's like nephew that was going to be.
That's right.
But he was going to be like acting as like his mentor. And I was like, and it was I forget the actor's name, but like the guy who was in the TV show Deadbeat. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. But I was like, wow. And then I read the other day that Lethal Weapon is coming back with Danny Glover and Joe Pesci and Richard Donner. And I don't think they got
Brandon T. Jackson?
Brandon T. Jackson, yes. Who could, pass off as a relative of Eddie Murphy. And then I was like, all right. So they got Lethal Weapon. They have, you mentioned Mad Max. They're going to do Mad Max sequel, which not with Tom Hardy, not with, what's his name? Mel Gibson. No, I thought that would be kind of cool. You're saying that would be kind of cool if Mad Max, they were related. Or it was a time travel movie, which would also be awesome.
Hear me out.
You say they're in the Matrix. And of course, then you have movies like you have Bill and Ted, which I'm super excited about. So you have a lot of these movies that have been gone for a very long time.
And even Matrix 2 has been gone for a while.
Now thinking about
Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters. Now really bringing back. And then, I will admittedly say that I saw Sonic this weekend.
Oh wow!
Sonic the Hedgehog.
What did you think?
I actually kind of liked it. You know why? Because while it wasn't like a mind-blowing movie, I actually really appreciate Jim Carrey in this movie because he was very reminiscent of his 1990s Jim Carrey persona. And I was like, that's great because that's like, aside from like some of his more serious roles, like I feel like that's where like Jim Carrey's comedy roots are. Yeah. So I was like, everything's making a comeback, man. The 80s are swirling back around again. Like next thing you know, we'll have a whole bunch of remakes or like revisions of movies. But then I was like thinking to myself, like, but when is like too far of a gap to bring back a movie? Like, will it be as successful like 30 years out because like maybe not as many people in this generation like are gonna fucking know.
I was reading one that might happen, like Rick Moranis might come out of retirement to do another.
He did.
Of all the movies to come out of retirement,
not Ghostbusters.
Nope.
Honey, I Shrunk the
No,
Kids.
he said he did. That was another one. He said he's already signed on for it for Shrunk. That's what it's gonna be called.
Which
I fucking love that movie. So
I do too. But
okay,
like,
see, because I fucking worship Rick Moranis.
Me too.
I mean, SCTV. I mean, I fucking love that dude. But man, it was his only real. Rick Moranis, that was like his starring franchise, was the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise.
I mean, he did have
he did have things like one of my all-time favorite films, especially if you like my Mark This, Little Shop of Horrors. But rarely did he star in a video. Mainly was like a supporting cast member. But of all the movies, fucking Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. But good for him. And I think with the special effects, it could be amazing. I'm just happy to see him back. Yeah. If we could just get that sequel to Streets of Fire, I've been longing for. Have you ever seen Streets of Fire?
I have not.
Holy shit. This is the perfect... Holy shit. That... I can't... My brain...
I know.
Dude, we need to watch... Homework. Because it was on one
I'm looking at it right now. It's... Okay.
And dude, that dude gives me, like... If I were to go gay for anybody...
Rick Moranis.
No, well, I mean, that's a different kind
Michael Perry?
Michael Perry. Dude, what a good... Especially...
It's got Diane Lane in it?
Yep. Ooh, looking real fine, too. And Willem Dafoe... Willem Dafoe as the baddest motherfucking villain.
Really?
Oh, dude. He was so cool. Me and my twin brother did this comic called The Scream, which was like a mod superhero kind of dude. Don't judge me. It was cool at the time.
Wow,
But the villain in it was called the Big Bad
Willem
Wolf.
Dafoe looked cool.
Yeah, he was like a Psychobilly before there was Psychobilly.
Oh, wow.
He was so cool. He became me and my twin brother based the villain on our book, The Big Bad Wolf, off of him. Anyways, it's a great movie. It's a weird movie.
It looks like Matt Dillon in that picture. Like it was like a Matt Dillon's
if you combine Matt Dillon with Billy Idol and what's his name? Fucking
Dude, I'm telling you,
Wow.
there's
Put a stash on him.
There's
That's
a
Matt Dillon's dad.
at the end
With
he
Billy
fights
Idol.
in a black vinyl overalls and a sledgehammer with the craziest psychobilly pompadour you've ever seen. Anyways, it's a great movie. It's like supposed to take place in the 50s, but it's also totally taking place in the 80s. Like all the music is like a combination of the 50s and the 80s.
wow, he feels super androgynous. I feel like this could be
such a bad
David Bowie
motherfucker.
or something like that.
Oh wow.
Like if David Bowie did it, why isn't William Dafoe the Joker? That's what I want to know.
Well, that was the thing for years. Everybody wanted him to be, and then they saw Green Goblin, and they're like, maybe we don't want him.
Oh, look at this guy.
One bad stud. That's a dude. Watch that movie.
Is Rick Moranis in that movie?
Yeah, he plays this like
Dude,
he
I'm
plays
just digging these photos, man.
that screenshot specifically. I've drawn that before.
Really?
All right.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll tell you the story real quick of Streets of Fire. So Michael Parra plays this like dude comes back from the war, and he's like the best. He's what every dude wants to be because he's like so good looking. He's pretty, but he's a bad motherfucker who just fucks people up.
He didn't get horribly disfigured in the war, so that's a +2.
But so he's coming back to his hometown area from the war. One of the sisters from Too Close for Comfort, it plays his sister, the brunette from Too Close for Comfort. But Diane Lane plays his ex-girlfriend, who's now like becoming the biggest pop star ever. So, but she's like, there's like this motorcycle gang is trying to kidnap her, led by Willem Dafoe. Anyways, she does end up getting kidnapped. They basically, Michael Parra's like a mercenary at that point. They're like basically like, can you help us get back your ex-girlfriend? He's like, no, fuck you. And they're like, no, we'll pay you. And he's like, well, if you pay me. But Rick Moranis is like her slimy like manager / kind of boyfriend. And he's really good in it. Very good. And then there's like, I forget, she's a character actor. She was in tons of stuff in the 80s and 90s. And she plays this sort of androgynous, like kick-ass. She almost plays like his Robin. Anyways, it's a fucking great. Right. But the music is amazing, but such a weird combination of the 80s and the 50s. Anyways, it's good stuff though.
Really quick too. Mm-hmm. I think it's called Bully or Bully with Rick Moranis and Tom Arnold.
Oh God, yeah. Well, was it Bully?
You know my favorite? I'm gonna say this right now. My favorite Rick Moranis movie ever, and I know you like A Little Shop of Horror, is My Blue Heaven.
I love My Blue Heaven. I fucking love that movie.
That's like
Rick Moranis and
did you leave the freezer open? Because you're melting all this food.
Dude.
Well, no, I was going to say about that with that Tom Arnold movie. It was a bad movie. Like it's not a good movie. But Rick Moranis acts his fucking ass off in that movie. I was like, I believe this dude's being bullied.
Yeah. Dude, Rick Moranis is he's a bad motherfucker. Dude.
So, anyways, yeah.
And to walk away like that's so pimp.
I know, especially for the reason, so heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, that's sad.
And he recorded, he does like country albums.
Yeah.
Does he really?
Yeah, that's what he did. That's what he's been doing for years.
Just playing country music?
Yeah, kind of like...
the dude's loaded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to imagine all the residual. I mean, literally, at MGM, they had like an entire Honey, I Shrunk the Kids ride for the longest time. I mean, Ghostbusters, I mean, you got to imagine, like, in those days, like, they're probably riding on the residuals, like...
Man, I don't know why he wouldn't sign on to that, to Ghostbusters.
Maybe because he knows it's like a...
You think it's going to be shit?
I don't know, man. I mean, I hope. I like the cast.
I think we're going to be surprised.
We'll see.
In the best possible way.
I bet you there's going to be some multiverse angle to it.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty pimp ain't easy. I was turning into a fucking Porky Pig all of a sudden.
Bleep, that's all, folks.
My fucking brain.
Just like, today, Junior.
So what's your favorite Beverly Hills Cop out of all of them?
Oh, I mean, God.
Because they're so they could be standalone movies.
I mean, I feel like
maybe 1 and 2 could be. I mean, are really together, but 3.
I mean, the third one's a piece of shit. Like,
he goes to like Disney, the generic Disneyland,
and he has like microwave gun, and you're like, what the fuck?
That was my favorite.
Of course, because it was for kids. It was aimed at kids.
It's like, hey, let's get everybody PG-13 watching Axel Foley. Like, he's not going to drop the F-bomb, I promise.
That was fun.
I don't know. I really
Axwell Foley.
really-
Axwell.
Axwell.
I don't know. I really think the first one is probably it has to be my favorite. Just love that he goes there, he goes to the mansion. He doesn't want to pay the rich anymore, so he just finds a mansion to go hang out at.
I mean, the second one had Brigitte Nielsen, so I mean, it has its own.
Oh yeah.
Has its own.
Back in her day, her prime.
Well, that's like with Lethal. That's like with Lethal Weapon too. Like I think the grittiest one is the second one.
Yep, second one's the best one.
Second
Yep.
one with the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
We have diplomatic
It's a
immunity.
When I was a kid, I used to stay awake at night pissed about diplomatic immunity because I thought everybody with diplomatic immunity was committing crimes.
Like that's right. Why are they all stealing the? But yeah, man, like people get fucked up in that movie. They kill their whole squad.
Yep.
In that movie, they killed a girl.
Yep.
You know.
It's good stuff, though. Really good stuff. Like, the first one is actually kind of more of a character film, kind of.
And doesn't he admit, like, in the second one, too, like, that they are behind, like, the circumstances of his wife's death, right?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, like, the Kuguran, or, it wasn't an accident that she veered off the road.
It's going to be interesting seeing Eddie Murphy come back.
You know what? I welcome it. He was great in Dolomite.
Yeah,
so
Dolomite was great. Got snubbed.
Yeah, I think he did a pretty good job. People panned him for SNL, but I thought it was pretty funny, actually. So.
And his SNL comeback was great.
I didn't like it. I thought it was like, I don't know. I didn't like it, but I don't blame that on him. I blame it on...
But here's the thing. Like, I feel like if he did something different than what he did, people would be like, oh, Eddie Murphy, why didn't you bring back Mr. Robinson's name?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, so...
I will say, the Gumby one was stupid, but the
Gumby one was stupid,
The Mr. Robinson's name was actually funny because it was also timely, like taking, like, it's all...
Gentrification.
Gentrification.
Gentrification, kids. Hold on. I got this. I got your damn TV!
I was literally watching something. I can't remember what I was watching something I wanted to talk about because I was also thinking this thing I was watching deserved a sequel. But then I watched this movie called The Kid, which is this like Western about like Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, but then it's also this about this kid and his sister who. But the cast is like it's directed by Vincent D'Onofrio, who I love, but it's Ethan Hawke, Chris Star-Lord.
Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt.
Magnificent Seven?
What's that?
Was it the Magnificent Seven?
No, it's this movie called The Kid.
Oh, I don't know.
Vincent D'Onofrio directs it. It's basically about this like kid and his sister who kill their dad because they're tired of him beating up on their mom. And he comes home drunk and he's going to literally kill his mom. So the son shoots him, but he's part of this gang, and his brother leads the gang, and his brother's Chris Pratt. But they are on the run, and they run into Billy the Kid, and Ethan Hawke.
Who's Dane Dinahan from Chronicle.
What's up?
He's whatever you call it from that Andrew Garfield.
Yes, exactly. He plays
Harry Osborn.
He plays Billy the Kid.
Huh. Very
But yeah,
interesting.
it's a good little flick. I love. I mean, I like what like. I do really love a good Western, and I think it's such a primal like sort of setting for telling really like kind of gnarly hardcore stories, and so it was really good for that. And
all right, I'll have to check it out because
it was solid.
I mean, I did like weirdly enough the Magnificent Seven, which also I believe had Vincent D'Onofrio
and
Chris Pratt and Ethan Hawke all in it.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't remember if it Ethan Hawke. I definitely had Chris Pratt and Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, he did. He played the cowardly like doctor who didn't like.
That's right.
Drag
Yeah,
himself
that's
like,
right. Yeah,
didn't want to do it.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Good deal.
But what was I watching before? I mean, I watched Roadhouse the other day, which is like I watched that fucking movie almost.
Angry fun fact. I have yet to finish Roadhouse.
What the fuck?
I know.
What are you doing with your life?
Well, it is kind of cool to be able to say that, but it's not cool, you know.
Man, that's a bummer.
Because it's like, hey,
Stressing me out.
y'all talk about Roadhouse, but no one talks about Point Break.
Everybody talks about it. It's one of my group of friends, like one of the most.
James and his friends talk about Point Break. Of course, y'all do. I'm talking about normies. All right.
People love it. It's so popular.
Well, you always have to clarify nowadays what Point Break you're referring to.
No, you don't. No, you don't. There's only one Point Break.
Well, I understand there's one Point Break. You know there's one Point Break, but there's a whole group of millennials out there that do not know there's one Point Break.
I was watching live TV, which I never watch. As I was like packing, and this movie came on, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Because I was changing channels, And I was like, what is this? This dude's like talking to the CI and he's talking about extreme sports. I was like, the fuck bullshit is this?
Is it Triple X?
No, it was the goddamn remake!
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It was a Point Break remake. I was like, oh, what the fuck? I was like, mad.
Like, this is trash.
See, I'm in extreme sports.
It's like, Johnny Utah. Let's get in with all these like
And it
extreme
had
sport nuts.
And it had the doctor from Scrubs. I always forget his name.
Oh,
Aren't they all doctors?
Well, yeah, but he's in Point Break too. So
McKinley?
McKinley?
Yeah.
Yeah. John C. McKinley? Yeah. I love him. He's good. He's good. Do you guys ever watch the Hannibal TV series?
Yeah.
I tried watching it, and it started turning into like every other bad like drama on NBC, which became it's like especially cop drama, where like this is so unbelievable.
I've given up honestly. Like, if there are like horror shows that I like really like, I give up getting attached to them because they always fucking get canceled. Like and it's always, especially when it comes to Fox shows.
I was gonna say you're talking about The Exorcist.
Yeah, The Exorcist, The Following. Really like The Following. Kevin Bacon was awesome. And there was another one called Alcatraz, which I thought was a really cool concept. It would be one season. It had Hurley from fucking Lost, which was awesome. I was like, hey, they put a fat guy as a lead. This is great because he's super smart. And it had Sam Neill in it, which I thought was great.
Always good. Yeah.
Always a series of shows. I even liked the new Lethal Weapon movie, the Lethal Weapon TV show before they changed and put Sean William Scott in there. I was like, whatever, Damon Wayans, you can't get along with anybody.
I mean, the thing is,
Homie
like,
don't play that apparently.
don't play.
Is that what it was? He couldn't get along with the other dude?
All right, so first, like he would obviously, and it was kind of funny because he plays Murtaugh, Riggs, and the guy who played Riggs, who's ironically an Australian actor as well. Apparently, they would butt head, and he went on the guy who played Riggs went on a couple of tirades, like, and then he ended up getting canned from the show. And then Damon Wayans was like, well, that's good. I'm going to continue doing the show now. And then after one season, he was like, you know what? Like, I know we rebooted this whole thing, but I'm getting too old. He literally said, I'm getting too old for this shit, which I thought was funny. And then they canceled the show. So I was like, I knew it was all done for when they killed his character, like Riggs' character at the end of season 2. Shot him in the chest. I'm like, he ain't coming back from that. I was like, maybe he will, like, if they work out a negotiation, and then first episode's like, nope, he's dead. Well, fuck that. But there was another movie that I was going to mention. Oh, did you guys see the new test footage for the new Batman movie?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Very much so. Go ahead.
No, you go first.
No.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't know if you guys know that they were calling out that his bat symbol on his suit is made from the gun that killed his parents.
That's the rumor.
Well, it looks like if you look at it, it's a gun.
It definitely has mechanical parts to it. It doesn't look like a full gun. It looks like
a melted down gun.
Yeah, or because even the base of it, it's the same part, but maybe split in two, like maybe the handle.
Where do these theories even come from, though?
Yeah.
I mean,
here's the thing. So, I was really hoping for something completely different. I think his face looks good. My twin brother pointed out that the cowl actually looks like it's made of leather, like a material as opposed to like a molded rubber, which is cool. But the rest of it looks too much like. First off, there's something happening on the collar I'm not a fan of, and it looks too much like Batman Begins or another like armored. I was hoping for something a little bit more, like a little different, something that was either more handmade.
Adam West.
Yeah, well, I'm not even trying to be an asshole, but like, I don't know if you read the comic Batman Year One. I think it's still the best Batman story and the best thing that Frank Miller's ever done. But in that, it's like about how Batman's trying to start.
Yeah.
And his costume's very pared down. It definitely looks like a pair of like real world, like even though it's got a cowl and cape, it looks more real worldy. It's not like all armored up. Which again, if you're going to do it, you want to be armored up. But it just looks too manufactured. But I don't know. I mean, that's the first test footage. I'll wait and see. And again, at the end of the day, I mean, I haven't liked any of the costumes outside of the very first Tim Burton one. I did like the Justice League version, or not the Justice League, the Batman versus Superman version of the Batman costume before it became the armored one at the end, because it's very much like a Jim Lee version of the comics one. And he actually looked like a big Batman was like whip your ass, but even that was
did.
But I'm looking. I don't know. Either way, the costume's fine. I don't even care as long as the story is good and like the film is good.
The only thing that has me concerned is I was looking at the cast and I was like, okay, I get behind that. Like I I can see that. I think it would be good, but as much as I like Colin Farrell, I don't know if I could picture him as an Oswald Cobblepot.
Well, so here's the thing. In the comics, in the last like decade, they've turned him less into, because there was a time where it was like, you know, he's like the fat penguin dude, but you didn't really know that he was like, you know, like this badass judo fighter, and you're like, give me a fucking break. But in the comics, they've turned him in basically into, he's basically, all he does, he has his like nightclub that he runs out of everything, and he's basically like, all he does is like, he runs guns and runs weapons for people, but basically he's like, he doesn't go off and do capers. What he is, he's basically the point of information, because he owns his club, and everything comes through his club, so he's like sort of like the point of information for everything. But because he's so fucking smart, and because he knows how to work everything, he always has to, like, people have to make deals, whether it's Batman or Commissioner, or people have to make deals with him to get the knowledge they want. So it's sort of like, you know, he sort of like...
He honestly is Bruce Wayne, the bad guy. Like, he's rich, you know, he's smart, he's cunning. And
Yeah.
I don't know. My favorite Penguin is by far, short of the original Batman series, was Danny DeVito as Oswald Cobblepot.
I mean,
Well, Danny's the only... I mean, that's literally the only... We've had the Burgess Meredith, and then we've had the mutant son of Pee Wee Herman, which is cool. I do like that.
Are you referring to the Gotham TV show?
No, in the movie, in Tim Burton's, in Batman Returns, his dad is Paul
that's
Rubens.
right.
They throw his mutant ass in the sewer.
Well, you do know in the Gotham TV show, his dad is also Paul
Yes,
Rubens
that's
as
right.
well, which I thought was funny. But now that you pointed out, I think that's even
That's where it
more-
came from,
more
that's right,
hilarious.
yeah.
I actually really did like the TV show a
Me
lot.
too.
It was very different and it was very like episodic, which I really did like a lot. And I love the fact that people pan this, like people shit all over this, but I love the fact that Oswald Cobblepot was gay and he had a love for Enigma,
the Riddler.
the Riddler, and I was like, this is fantastic.
Yeah. And I like the
And
kid.
killed Enigma's love because he was gay and he was jealous of her, so he like ran her off the road.
That's awesome. Bring back Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. I'm down.
I just watched that the other day.
Tommy-
They have them all on Vudu and they're free, so
You know, it's not that it's a bad movie, because we all know it is.
right.
But it's still enjoyable to watch.
That's right. Well, I mean, he's got the two halves of the room, and Drew Barrymore is the angel half, and that I totally agree with.
The soundtrack was pretty pimp. I mean, you had Flaming Lips to a soundtrack.
U2,
That's good.
YouTube, right?
Yeah, and then Seal, of course.
Kiss from a Rose.
That's
baby.
probably I think that's probably the best big movie anthem of my
yeah.
generation. Like "Kiss from a Rose," like that's a bad. That's not like you can hate all over pop
Well, I
music.
mean,
you
like
want,
on the original soundtrack, there was Prince, and he had a couple songs in
he
there.
did the whole album.
yeah, the Bad Dance,
He did
brother.
Bad Dance, and then he did Cream.
Yep.
Oh,
Which is that whole album that Cream
Yeah.
comes off of.
Yeah.
Oh man, the twins.
good stuff.
Yeah, dude. But
was
they
like-
weren't actually twins. Everybody thought they were twins. You know what I'm talking about? The dancers. They were just two. He wanted twins. They couldn't find them, so they cast two separate dancers, and they just happened to look
Yeah,
alike.
and that was when he was a symbol.
Yeah. Yep. But dude, that whole album, Cream, Get Off, 23 positions in a one night stand. Get off. That shit was.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on my Spotify. On the way out.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's solid
But it
TV
is-
show and series of movies too.
I think Batman Forever was really the heaviest, the biggest marketing campaign ever for all
God.
Batman movies. Because I still have the McDonald's cups. I still have like the. I might have a poster or two left over. I had hundreds of toys from that movie.
I just found a bunch of my
Yeah,
figures from that era. Even my Robin.
the video game sucked, but it still came out. Yeah.
I remember the Nintendo video game of Batman. It was pretty cool actually.
No, the Batman. Yeah, the Nintendo one, but they had a Batman Forever on
yeah.
Super Nintendo. Garbage.
All of the movie tie ones were pretty much shit.
Yeah.
So I have a very controversial opinion. So I have a lot of in my group of friends. I have a lot of friends who are huge Chris Nolan fans, and I think Chris Nolan is kind of overrated. I think he's made good movies, but I don't think he's a goddamn genius.
Totally agree with you.
But I tried to rewatch Batman Begins recently, and I couldn't get through it. It was so fucking boring. And I love at the time, I mean, it was like, oh, Ra's al Ghul, you're telling kind of like a Batman Year One type of story, but it's so weird. And I honestly just thought it was boring.
Batman, just. It's me, Bane.
See, the thing is though, that's the one thing I was like,
That's my name.
I actually like that because it's so.
That's my
different.
name, Batman.
Oh, you know what I want? This is what I want to talk about.
Holy shit, James.
That you just reminded me. Did you ever see the movie Warrior with? I'm like he's been in a bunch of stuff now.
Tom Hardy?
With Tom Hardy.
Yeah, the boxing movie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
MMA movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing at the gym the other day.
Yeah.
Dude, first off, that's the most threatening. And Tom Hardy's like 5'8", 5'9". He's a little guy.
Jake Gyllenhaal did a really good job. He played in Southpaw.
Yeah,
too,
he was
which
really good. Yeah, and he got
badass.
Holy
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Southpaw looked like it was supposed to be a junk movie, but holy shit,
got
did they
ripped for
grab
that.
me.
Yeah.
But I remember I saw it in the theater. I went to go see it by myself in the theater and was like, oh, this movie is pretty dope. And at the time, there weren't any movies about MMA, and nobody was making martial art movies anymore. They were like a thing of the past. But I very much enjoyed it. It was definitely. It was like I was explaining it to somebody at the time that it's like the male equivalent of a Hallmark movie because it's like really tugs your heartstrings and it's about brothers and reconnecting with their dad.
Yeah.
And it's like, you all right?
Are we covered time?
Yep.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for listening to Going Commando. We had to have an abrupt stop. We do apologize. We will continue this. I'm going to ask you a question about Wes Anderson versus Christopher Nolan. We love you guys. Talk to you next time.
Talk to you soon.
Peace.
We